What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, joined by the man in the hat himself, Kevin Olenek. We are here to review WWE Smackdown Live, July
Kevin has
11th.
come back. Smackdown.
The man in the hat has come back to Smackdown Live reviews live on the Bottom Line View. Let us know in the live comments what you guys thought of Smackdown. I see Katana is already in there. I see a couple people already in there chatting and typing away. Nice to see you guys back here. Even after a snooze fest of a show, you guys are still in here supporting the channel. Nice to see. Nice to see. So let us know what you think of the show and also of the review so we can chat with you guys. All right. So where do we start? Where do we start with this show? Do you know, Kev, when you sit down and you watch a show and you feel like you had 2 hours of your life wasted?
That was like Batman versus Superman. Yeah.
So are you saying that because I have my Batman shirt on?
Yes, actually, I point that out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's exactly how I feel about this SmackDown show. Do you have different thoughts?
There was a couple of good things. There was a lot of where we'll get to it, but I have a social studies question for you a little bit later on because me being a little bit older and out of high school a little longer, I think something has changed, and I'm just curious about that. And yeah, this wasn't.
Does it have to do with wrestling, or does it have to do with something else?
Well, you'll see. You'll see. It's kind of in a. It's interesting. I'm confused by something because I learned something different in high school, but the WWE SmackDown specifically is presenting something completely different than what I learned in social studies.
Okay, very interesting. So that's a little tease for later on in the show. Before we even start the review, I want to make it known that we have a live broadcast tonight. So tonight you can join myself and Dilly Vanilli as we are going to walk through and watch a pay-per-view from 2000. For some reason, the name is escaping. Fully Loaded. Fully Loaded 2000. The main event is Rock Benoit. So make sure you check it out tonight. We will be watching it live. So if you guys want to watch it with us, that would be awesome. Just in the live chat, you know, having a good time. So I want to plug that before we even start the review so you guys are aware tonight. And I believe it's going to be happening at 9 Central Time. So approximately an hour after this review is finished, there will be a, or not 9 Central Time, 11 Central Time, my bad. So 9 o'clock Pacific Time, my time. So approximately an hour after this review is finished, you'll see another live video come up, and that will be of myself and Dylan reacting live to the show in 2000, Fully Loaded 2000, Rock Benoit. Make sure you check that out. Also tomorrow, another cheap plug so we get it in, I'm going to be finally posting that WCW Nitro. I was going to post it today, but I figured we're going to have 3 videos on today, so might as well post it tomorrow. So we're going to have it tomorrow. WCW Nitro, April 10th, 2000. Myself and Kev are on that review. Any quick thoughts on that review before we get underway, Kev?
Again, Dylan, you thought I saw what Dylan said and the way the man was attacked. Wait till you see what I said about Jim Cornette.
All right. So Kev basically rips apart. He rips apart Jim Cornette. All right.
Did I? Oh, tease. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little tease for it. Let's get to the comments before we do start. Katana says this could be summed up. My overall thoughts. Z. So we have a bunch of sleeping. Basically from the people here watching the review. This show was a show that Marky Mark and Cesar would love, says Katana. I don't even know if that's the case. You know, I don't know because I'm not one of those fans. Maybe we'd have to ask one of those fans what they thought, but I thought this show was just excruciating. It literally gave me a headache. The title is This Show Gave Me a Headache. So you would think that it gave me a headache. Yes, it did. And I'm not kidding you. It did give me a headache. Katana also says, I actually like the Fashion File segment. That's about it. Destroyer says, hey guys, SmackDown Live was ... okay. Arian says, how's it going, Mitch? What's going on, Arian? He also says to Kevol that, Kev, bro, I got you booked in 2 years with a Lambo with Tamina on your lap. How does that feel?
Yeah, sure.
Arian is apparently, he looks into the future and sees things, apparently.
That's great. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the review. It starts off with a U.S. title recap because, of course, they never changed the title on TV. It didn't happen on SmackDown Live. It didn't happen on Raw. It didn't happen on a pay-per-view. It happened on a house show. And you know what? This show felt like a house show. I went to a house show not very long ago, less than a month ago, and this show was pretty much as close to a house show as you could get. I mean, it was match, no story, just a bunch of matches. And maybe even the house show was better because at least I was there. So they had the U.S. title recap of AJ Styles winning it in MSG, and they made it known that it was at Madison Square Garden and this big illustrious building and all that jazz. Kev, how do you feel about a title changing hands at a house show?
I don't mind it at times. I think what they're trying to do is say go to the house shows because the house shows are potentially have something interesting happen, i.e., as an example, at your house show, a certain surprise happened.
Actually.
There was the Seth. I didn't know what the other one was.
Well, Rusev was there too. Which he came back, I believe, on that show. So
okay. So I think that there's value in telling people to go to the house show. But I still think you lose some people when you don't have this match on TV. And people also know that Vancouver's Rogers Arena,
yes.
Rogers Arena, sorry. I live here and I don't even... Rogers Arena is not the place where a title change is going to change hands. The Saddle Dome is not one of them.
Just MSG.
MSG is going to be that. So that's a part of the frustration with that. If you do title changes on other things, it makes it a little bit more interesting. But however, we'll get into this. I do feel that the right person has the belt at this point in time now.
Okay. My thoughts on changing at a house show, I think it's absolutely ridiculous and stupid. Save it for if you're going to change it and it's not going to be on a pay-per-view, do it on the TV show. You know, try and spark ratings by having a title match. I mean, something that
or at least put it on the WWE network if you're going to do it. Like just breaking news.
Yeah, like if you're gonna have an MSG and if you're gonna have an MSG house show and you think it's gonna be a big deal, then put it on the network, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could do that too. So yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it, but I've never been a fan of it. So let's get into the opening promo, which is AJ Styles and John Cena. The show starts off with AJ Styles coming out. He talks about the U.S. title, how he won it, and how basically he will treat it and how it will be represented as he is now the champion and not Kevin Owens. He says that every time you see a man with this championship from now on around his waist, you will know that he is the best. He says that he's going to be bringing back the U.S. championship to its prestigious form. He also says that anybody right now can come out and prove me that I'm wrong, that I am not the best. You can come out right now because I'm starting an open challenge just like a former champion of this belt, basically referring to John Cena, what he used to do with the belt used to do. So AJ Styles basically says now it's the first AJ Styles open challenge. John Cena comes out. He asks if he can accept or if it's anybody but him that can accept. But AJ Styles says no. It almost like AJ Styles wanted Cena to come out, and he says, no, that was especially meant for you. Says Styles. Cena then says, okay, let's do this. Bring a ref out. Let's get this going. Let's do it right here and now. So we have John Cena versus AJ Styles for the U.S. Championship Open Challenge. Show's going to start off with a bang, a big match that was on the Royal Rumble last year. So basically what happens is I'm thinking to myself, okay, when's Rusev going to interfere? When's Kevin Owens going to come out? That's basically what I'm thinking to myself. So what happens? Of course, Kevin Owens comes out and he starts ranting about who the rightful owner of the championship should be and that it should be him and that he should get the title back. He also asks Cena why he's back and why is he even here, because nobody wants to see him. Cena then makes the hilarious joke that nobody can see him. That's exactly correct. The actual funny part of Cena's promo was when he called Owens the Michelin Man. I thought that was quite funny.
I thought of you when I heard that.
Yes. Then basically what happens is Cena says, if you step in this ring, I'll run right through you. Then I'll run right through you. And he points at AJ Styles and gets ran the F over by Rusev. Rusev attacks Cena. Owens attacks Styles. Rusev then puts an accolade on Cena, and Owens stands tall and yells at Cena, does his Owens thing and plays his character. And then we get the USA chants as the two international superstars leave the ring. So we have the Canadian and the Bulgarian leaving with boos and USA chants. That's how the show starts. And that was probably not the greatest segment in the world, but it was something that was better than probably most of this show. We had a reference towards what Cena and Styles have done in the past. We had some commitment from AJ Styles to making this championship mean something, which a lot of people have been complaining about for a long time. And I don't think it's in any point going to return the U.S. title to any sort of, because I really haven't felt like the U.S. title's meant anything for a long time. Sure, there's been moments there where Cena's had the title and they've featured it prominently. Same with Roman Reigns, where they've featured it prominently. But to be honest with you, no titles on these shows really mean anything anymore. The way that they book the WWE champion is a pure example of that. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but that's my feelings on the titles. But it was nice to see that that's what they're trying to do with it. Other than that, what's this? I don't know. They're trying to get Owens and Rusev. It seemed like they were trying to get a tag team match set up. That's basically what this was meant for. It was another segment that could have easily been done on a house show. I'm going to refer to this show as a house show on TV from now on, because that's exactly what it was. I mean, it had no thread throughout the show. It had no storylines. It was just matches and a promo to set up a match, and that's basically all it was. I don't really know what else to say from that. Cena should be a guy. He comes back. You only have so much time for him to come back when he's going to move on and make movies or be on the Today Show or whatever. You need to use him prominently. You need to use him in a situation where, he can help other talent. And as far as AJ Styles goes, this is one of your most over wrestlers. You give him the U.S. title, and I don't really know what to say. I mean, and then Rusev comes back last week, and I'm sure he puts the accolade on, but later in the night, they're going to lose the match. Nobody gets heat on this show. Kevin Owens loses his U.S. title, and not that I'm a Kevin Owens fan, but he looks like an absolute bum in this entire show. So I don't know what to say about this, Kev. That's not negative. What do you got, bro?
Okay, well, there was a couple things I do appreciate. I do appreciate the John Cena promo now. With a little bit more of an edge and passion. I do want to say that that's good. I do appreciate that.
I said that last week too. I'm not that I've ever been a huge Cena fan, but the one thing I can say about Cena is that he's always very passionate when he speaks. And a lot of the times he can get people to get behind him, and he can sell a match with his passionate promos. And that's something that you can tell why Cena is the star he is and why some people are still stuck on this level, the passion in their promo.
Yeah, so that was nice. I don't know if I'm going to ask my social studies question now or the next segment. I just felt that this was really a basic segment to set up a tag match. The danger is you put Cena in a place where he can shadow AJ Styles, but I think that you're probably leading. This looks to me like we're leading to Styles Cena at SummerSlam. This is what the storyline led to me, which is interesting in and of itself.
Why though?
Something tells me
what we've seen it. Move on.
Yeah, I think that there's been a bunch of changes going on.
Honestly, I'd rather see at SummerSlam Orton Cena one more time, and that's it.
Well, maybe you could set that up for Mania for the 17. Something tells me, and I don't have any insight here, Mitch, but this is the question I would like to ask. Are they punishing Kevin Owens?
For what?
I don't know.
For being fat? Why?
Well, I don't. Something happened here. It's like,
what do you mean?
It's like, I'm not saying that. Like, I actually think AJ Styles should.
You know what they might think? They might think that the U.S. title on AJ Styles sells more tickets than Kevin Owens with the U.S. title.
And I think that is quite possible. That is quite possible.
And maybe they didn't. They never had intention to give Styles the belt at this point at near SummerSlam. But they said, "Hell, we need to make this card as good as possible," which has been the rumors. So let's make Styles' match mean more by giving him the U.S. title, and they threw a wrench in there.
Yeah, which could make it a triple threat, which seems to be there's a bunch of that. But anyway, this just led to a tag match. It didn't help Owens, and Rusev is they haven't done much with Rusev since he's been back, which is entirely strange, except give him a haircut.
Handsome Rusev. They never even talked about Lana. Like, it doesn't make any sense because we know they're married. Why Lana and Rusev have no interaction?
Yeah, I don't know that. That's another weird thing. But I want to ask a question though before we go on.
Okay.
You would consider them in the higher echelon of your SmackDown roster: Cena, Rusev, Owens, Styles. No matter how, I know you don't like Owens.
No, but the way that they're booked, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just want to supplant that and put this in here because we're about to go to the next segment.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Jinder Mahal versus Ty Dillinger.
And who's Jinder Mahal, by the way? What title does he wear?
Apparently, Jinder Mahal wears the WWE Championship, but he's treated like people call him they call him the Jobber Champion or something like that. They call him like the Jobber Champion, right? He basically is that, not because he used to be a jobber, but because he's booked on the show for 5 minutes. This is the Jobber Champion. I mean, why? Like, why don't you give the commitment to this guy? You throw the swerve in there, build this guy up, shoot a rocket on his back, have him beat Randy Orton 2 times, and then you don't do anything with him on SmackDown. The show should start with Jinder, and it should end with Jinder. It shouldn't have 5 minutes of Jinder versus in a meaningless match. The first comment or note I have on this match is why.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When I was in social studies back in whatever years there were, the world was more important than the U.S. Did that change when you studied social studies?
No, in the U.S., and sorry, any Americans out there, the U.S. is more important than the world.
Oh, okay.
Why?
That's clearly what... Because I don't understand why your 4 better rosters are going after the secondary belt and are passionately fighting over the secondary belt.
The WWE title is not only should be the centerpiece of your show, but it should be the centerpiece of the company. So it should be bigger than the Universal title. Brock Lesnar should not want the Universal title. He should want the WWE title, to be honest with you. Right?
Yeah. It's like a professional, an NFL player saying, I have this dream of winning the Grey Cup, which is a fine championship, but it's not the Super Bowl, right? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's just, and we're Canadian. Anyway.
Jinder wins, of course, like, cool. Then he cuts a promo. He says, week after week.
Why is Ty Dillinger getting this match?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Bro, I have no idea. I said, my first comment is why? Like, why is this match happening? Is it just to put Jinder on the show because you can't find a space for the WWE champion? Do you know how stupid that sounds?
It's entirely weird.
Like, Like every writer, like good writer would tell you that you put your main character, not okay, think about a regular TV show. Your main character is in like 90% of the show, right? Now in wrestling, you could probably do like, I don't know, like 50% or maybe a little bit less than that. But like, why is your WWE champion not the, okay, I have a blank sheet of paper right here. Why is the first thing I write down here why is this the order I have? Cena Styles Women Tag Division, and then I got WWE Champion last. Why is that? The order, you should start booking your show, however you write your show. You should be writing Jinder's parts first and then writing everybody else's parts. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you feel.
And it's not Jinder's fault because you know what? I actually am enjoying the way he's delivering his promos. I'm enjoying his character. It's just so bizarre what they're doing. It is.
No, I know. It's not Jinder's fault at all. If it was Jinder's fault, I swear they would take the title off him.
Yeah.
But why? Like, why? Okay, so he says, week after week, I speak the truth, and you people still disrespect me. I'm the modern day Maharaja. I bring diversity and excellence to the WWE, and you people still cheer for Randy Orton. And by the way, Randy Orton wasn't on the show tonight.
Well, you don't need Randy Orton on the number one contender to your main championship on a show 2 weeks before the pay-per-view.
But why wasn't he on the show?
Why do you need that thing? Like, why? You don't need
I can't even give them the weak excuse of he's injured. Even though I hate that excuse because it's a fake injury and the guy could be playing up the injury on screen instead of him not being on TV, like Braun Strowman. How does the guy get up from getting hit by a car like 10 minutes after it, and then he gets up and he tries to walk, but he's not able to get to the show the day after? Unless you have a segment where Kurt Angle is saying, Braun, don't come to the arena, you're injured, stay at home, then I don't want that shit.
Yeah, there was no need for Randy Orton tonight, and I'm being sarcastic. I hope you know.
Yeah. All right. I think Jinder gets heat. I like Jinder. I think he's passionate. He looks great. He looks like a champ. I think he's done a good job with what he's been given, but they don't give him anything. Like literally nothing. It's like 5 minutes. How is anybody, I say this every week, how is anybody going to get over with 5 minutes of material when other, like that's not going to happen. In a 2-hour show, you get 5 minutes of material. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just lame, too, like to see a WWE champion. And you don't care every week now because the WWE champion comes out for one segment and you don't care. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let's get to the comments section. WWE Boy said this show was all right, I guess. Arian says, nibbling on fast food, acting like a damn fool. All these wrestlers are covered in oil. All right, thanks, Aaron. Katana says, I like the changing the titles at a house show and entices people to go to the house show. All right, there's one opinion. Arian then says, marking for Finney. I'm dreaming he's with me. Hey, there's Sammy, and he's all in a camp. All right. Chauncey says, hashtag beat up John Cena. Katana says, I don't blame you, Arian. Arian says, question for Mitch and Kev, what's your top 5 favorite ladder companies? What?
What? I don't even have one favorite ladder company.
Ladder companies?
I don't, yeah.
Okay. Clark says, all I can say is SummerSlam better be booked good and have interesting type matches, storylines outside of Roman, Lesnar, and Joe. WWE Boy says, I'd rather see Cena versus Reigns, to be honest. Well, that's a WrestleMania match, I hope. Clark says, me 3. WWE Boy said Cena is a free agent, so wouldn't he be on Raw too? Oh yeah, I forgot. Is he a free agent still?
You know, yeah, we don't know what that means. He just says he can fight anybody.
Is he a free agent, or like shouldn't they have like a signing or something for him?
Apparently, free agent. What does that mean?
Bro, I don't
know. We haven't figured out what that means.
Katana says the WWE Championship won't be the centerpiece title until it moves to the flagship show, Raw. Well, what about the other show, SmackDown? It should be the centerpiece of SmackDown. Yeah. Katana says he's being treated as a jobber champion. He's rarely main events SmackDown. The U.S. title is a bigger deal. It seems like it.
That's my point. It shouldn't be.
Exactly. Clark says F Jinder, the jobber, worst champion, booked or non-booked. Katana says it's the writers for SmackDown. They are to blame. Clark says World Championship would hold more prestige, be more prestigious all stars like Cena, Reigns, and Lesnar. Maybe. And that's only because they would book them better. That's not because the championship, that's not because of the wrestlers like themselves. It's just because they would book them better. They book Reigns better than other people, or at least try to. They book Cena better than other people. That's for damn sure. And Lesnar, when he's on the show, he's just great. So I don't really know what else to say. Chauncey says Randy Orton is gone to make a movie with 2 weeks until a pay-per-view. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
You could still have done something on a video. You know, you have this screen light thing that you can use, right? You can put him on that and do that.
I don't know. Via satellite, maybe?
Yeah. Heaven forbid we add creativity to this.
I hate everything. Said they're just trying to get through Battleground before they do anything important for SummerSlam.
Well, Battleground is setting the table for SummerSlam, but it still should be a good show. July usually is full of good shows.
WWE Boy says, Mitch, feel free to say fuck when someone says the word fuck in their comment. All right.
Sure.
I will. Next, we have Xavier Woods versus Jey Uso. Okay, so this follow-up match made some sense because they had the rap battle and stuff. My complaint is nobody wants to see these guys touch. They just want to see another entertaining rap battle.
Absolutely. Or a promo segment or something like that.
Exactly. So what happens is the ref boots Kofi, Biggie, and Jimmy out. Xavier wins, and that's that. Any comments?
The rap battle was great, and we need more Usos on the mic. And I don't understand why we don't have more Usos on the mic. What happened to the fiery passion that SmackDown started with 1 year ago? Where did that go?
I don't know. You can tell by the guy that's in charge of SmackDown, at least on television, Shane McMahon, that that's the effort put in right there.
We'll get to him in a second.
Shane McMahon in the segment, man. Okay, so Shane McMahon with Naomi. They're talking about who the next challenger is. Charlotte comes in and says, if you say Lana again, someone's going to get hurt. Becky Lynch, Natalya, Tamina, and Lana come in like every other week, and they talk about who's going to challenge Naomi for the championship. So Shane McMahon says, oh, okay, we're going to have at Battleground another 5-way match to determine who's going to be the #1 contender. Yeah. Okay. Then Charlotte asks how Lana is going to be in this match. Tamina defends Lana, the only intriguing part of the entire segment. Shane then says Becky and Charlotte are going to have a match versus Tamina and Natalya. Great job, Teddy Long. Okay, who cares about that? Carmella gives Shane a note from her attorney to reinstate Ellsworth. Shane rips it up. Again, Shane and Daniel Bryan look like the heels because Carmella has still not done anything wrong. She won a no disqualification match with a guy holding her giving her a Money in the Bank briefcase. They again look like the heels because this makes no sense. And my final comment is Naomi looked very good.
Yeah, the ladies. I just don't. Can we decide on a challenger for Naomi? Like, why? What are we doing here? Like,
we're having another
okay.
multiple women match because we need another one.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes. Just give the title to Carmella. Like, come on.
So who's Naomi facing at Battleground?
Nobody.
Oh, okay. She gets the month match off. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe she'll face Ellsworth. Who knows? Okay. Destroyer says Xavier words. Ha 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 ha. Katana says promos make the money, not matches. Chase says it went to Neverland. LOL. The fire SmackDown had went to Neverland. Katana says Teddy must be the hidden GM of SmackDown. Rabid says, can I be a mod, please? No, not right now. Arian says, Mitch, if you want anyone to do a review on ladders, I'm your guy. I'm a ladder expert and enthusiast. I think he meant to say, but he says and enthusiastic. Maybe he meant
apparently because you're asking about your 5 favorite ladder companies.
That could have made sense too. So, Aaron, yeah, once we get to some ladder match, I'll ask you about the type of ladder, how it was made, where it was made, and the height and everything about it. I'll ask you.
When you tell them about tools,
they would have been perfect at the Money in the Bank. I don't know why you didn't bring that up. Rabid Radtail says, "Oh, you didn't know? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. We're going to have a tag team match." Baron Corbin interview. Another meaningless interview where they replay what happened last week. Baron then says he's going to teach Nakamura a painful lesson. Then we have Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura does this thing.
Yep.
That's all we get.
And a Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury sighting.
You can take this away. What did you think of this segment?
They don't really match up well together. It's really not a good use of a guy that you're trying to build as your major star in Nakamura. And I don't like, is he fighting Corbin to get the Money in the Bank or what? Why are we having this feud? Not sure. Anyway, they just seem awkward. They don't have any chemistry. That's the big thing. My big takeaway from those two. And I like them individually, but they don't have.
I don't understand how this feud started. It makes no sense to me. Why are they feuding with each other? Because Baron has the Money in the Bank?
Well, they haven't said why, but that's apparently why. I'm assuming like this would be great if this match was for Money in the Bank.
Clark says, one sec. Clark says, I feel that Naomi at times is being done somewhat wrong with these storylines. Not enough material for her. Totally agree. I think Naomi could be really good. I like Naomi. I think the only one on this channel that doesn't like Naomi is Dylan. But I like Naomi.
Yeah,
I think she could do better if she was given something better. But she's given the classic black gimmick. I'll just say that. And she's also given, pretty much nothing. She's given a new opponent every month that really it doesn't make any sense why they're facing her.
And they're really not using Charlotte and Becky to the best of their abilities because those matches would be great matches.
WWE Boy says, when they did the draft in 2016, the first week was great. It was a good time to be a pro wrestling fan, in my opinion. Ever since, they've been giving little bit of good things. Katana says he slept through that segment.
So does Shane McMahon.
Brother Nero, watch Supergirl Netflix season 2. I watched Supergirl. I liked this season, but the last episode was crap. I didn't like it. WWE Boy says, Mitch, were you imitating Nakamura or telling us to suck it? I was imitating Nakamura. Destroyer says, I love Naomi. Chauncey says, hashtag beat up Dylan. Katana says, what's your opinion on the brand split so far? I don't understand it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. At first, I got it because they were like, okay, Shane's back. Stephanie's there. They have a storyline here where they could, okay, let's get some competition between the two of them. Let's get some competition. They haven't brought that up since week number 2. SmackDown was genuinely a good show. It gave us 2 shows to watch for about half a year, I would say. It was probably even the better show for a long stretch of time. But ever since especially WrestleMania, it's gone straight downhill. And Raw has been the only show. Raw, yeah, since WrestleMania has been the only or not WrestleMania, Raw has been the only show where like every once in a while there's a decent show. SmackDown hasn't had a good show in a long time, it seems like.
You know who they're missing?
Who? Miz?
Yep, they are. And the lack of Daniel Bryan on this show is speaking to it too, because Bryan brought some fire to it.
Yeah, I guess. WWE Boy says, Mitch, tell Dylan I'm still waiting for them bars. Rattail says, play the Road Dogg theme, and when he says call somebody, say we going to have a tag team match, since SmackDown always has a tag team match. I don't know if I want to do that right now, to be honest with you. Let's continue on. We have John Cena and AJ Styles backstage, and they talk about having an open challenge. They also talk about their history, blah, 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 blah. Cena puts Styles over somewhat and says that, you know, when I respect you, and when we're out there tonight, I'm going to have your back. Anything on that?
Nope.
Charlotte and Becky versus Tamina and Natalya with Lana. Who cares? I put. Tamina wins by super kick, which was somewhat surprising, but they are trying to build this relationship between Tamina and Lana, which is the only intriguing part of the women's division other than Carmella right now. Maria is backstage, and this was maybe the best segment of the entire night.
You know, we did the underrated, and I believe I put Maria on my underrated list.
You did. Well, she hasn't been here long enough for me to do that yet. Like, she hasn't been here at this current product long enough. Sammy Wow. Like, what the like, where did that come from? Sammy Wow. Okay, so Sammy is not in the locker room. So Maria says the First Lady of SmackDown Live is looking for him. Very basic segment. But you know what the problem with this is? It would have been a lot more efficient if they would have done this multiple times throughout the night, but they didn't. Because they're lazy.
Yeah, they would have at least like, yeah, where's Sammy? But they did this once.
Is what it is. Maria and Mike backstage with Sammy. They're like making out or doing, I don't know what they're doing. Maria then asks for an apology from Sammy. Sammy says he's sick of apologizing for nothing. Sammy asks what Mike does here. Does he compete? Then he makes a joke and says that you're the lover and she's the fighter. Mike then smacks Zayn over the head with some sort of a flower pot or vase or something, or I don't know. And then Zayn, the Uber driver, is left flat on the ground on his face and yelling for help. Maria says it was brought to you by the power of love.
So are they going to have a love match?
They just need to have Marty McFly going around on his skateboard, connecting to every truck, and then going to school with the power of love playing in the background. They should have Sami Zayn do it since he's the Uber driver.
Maybe it'll be an Uber match. Who knows?
Uber match. He connects to every Uber match, and then they fight each other on the Uber. That would be good. One thing I do want to say about this was probably one of the best segments of the night, them two combined, and at least they had something going here, and I'm getting somewhat intrigued to see what Mike and Maria are going to do. I will give Sammy a little bit of credit. I do give people credit that I don't necessarily love. I do think Sammy's been working a little bit more on a character, so I will give him.
Yes, he is. I was going to point that out too.
I will give him credit for that.
Yeah, and I think that's what the benefit of him on SmackDown has been. He's been allowed to do that a little bit more instead of being tossed around by Braun.
I'm not finished.
I'm not finished with you.
Okay, next we have the Fashion Files with the Sexy Texas Rangers. The Sexy Fashion Rangers are with Chuck Norris, and not really, but they keep showing Chuck Norris highlights. I thought that was pretty funny. So they're walking around, and Tyler Breeze has a lasso of truth like Wonder Woman, and walks around like Wonder Woman with a lasso of truth. By the way, apparently Wonder Woman 2 is going to be set in the 80s, So that's going to be pretty cool. It was a really stupid, like dumb segment, but I thought it was still funny. And at least during these segments, it accomplishes more storytelling than the rest of the show combined. Like, at least we understand, okay, the Fashion Files, they're still looking for the people that attacked Tyler Breeze. Fandango, I feel, is hilarious. I don't know why, like him with this stupid horse. And then we have the Ryder and Mojo thing, which also is some sort of storytelling where they're telling the story of, Mojo and Raleigh, they have a little beef with each other because of the Battle Royal. So they're telling those two stories in one segment. So I liked it. I thought there was a bit of comedy there. It kept my attention. I like these Fashion File segments.
Yeah, they're good.
But the question remains, who attacked the Fashion Police? Who did attack the Fashion Police?
Could it be Fandango? I don't know.
No, it wouldn't make sense.
I haven't figured. For some reason, I haven't figured that out. I don't know why.
Because we haven't really been paying too much attention to it. Plus, they've basically gone through every tag team on the roster.
Yeah, so it would be a new one.
I don't think they have gone to the New Day yet, though.
Why would the New Day attack the Fashion Police?
I don't know. They're funnier than them.
They are funnier than the New Day. But I mean, the New Day is still entertaining, but
who else though? Like a new tag team, like Authors of Pain? I don't know.
Maybe it's the Authors of Pain.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the comments because I know people like to talk about the Fashion Files. Katana says, I popped when Sammy got beat up. WWE Boy says, does Marky Mark ever show up on SmackDown reviews? He does occasionally, but not very much. He does love Sammy, and he likes me to tell you that, but not very often. Arian says 5-star Uber match, and he put Fashion Files with clapping. Katana says best segment of the night was Fashion Files. Destroyer says I fell asleep on the Hype Bros and Fashion Files segment. Interesting. Katana says it was Braun. WWE Boy says Marky Mark and Cesar attacked the Fashion Police.
That I was thinking that could be it.
That could be it. It would make a lot of sense. They don't like characters or storylines. Arian says wrestling sucks, bro. That is very true. Rabid Radtail says American Alpha, I think.
Maybe. That's an interesting idea.
Radtail also asks, where's Fitty?
Fitty doesn't come on this.
He doesn't come on wrestling reviews. Why don't you ask him, Rabid?
Yeah.
So the main event, we have Cena and Styles versus Rusev and Owens. Rusev Machka. Cena wins with the AA on Owens. I could have given, I could have been doing something else during this match. I did not care at all. Yes, yeah, Cena and Styles teamed up for probably the first time on TV, but I didn't care.
Yeah, it was just a basic house show match.
It was a house show. And
there was you're showing where there was, it's leading to something else, and there's no heat on the flag match. There's no heat on the rematch. You're building to SummerSlam, and you forgot about Battleground. That's basically what the show was about.
Yeah, and the fact that the main event started at probably 6:30 our time, so it was probably, it was probably a half an hour of time where nobody really cared that much.
Yeah.
When you could have utilized that time for something better.
You had no time to put in a Randy Orton via
Nothing.
satellite.
Nope.
Nope.
So that's basically SmackDown Live. I will give this show a 0 out of 10.
I'll give it a 3. I thought the Cena promos were fine. Fashion Files fine. I wish they would give Becky Lynch more. I really am enjoying her character. Another thing that was missing, I know Ellsworth was suspended, but for the love of God, couldn't have you found a way to try to get him to get in?
No, not allowed.
No, that's creative apparently.
No, and it takes effort to do that, Kev.
Yeah, no Randy Orton. And apparently the superstars of SmackDown are competing for the Grey Cup, not the Super Bowl. That's what I'm led to conclude.
Arian says the new Nexus 7. Marky Mark, Cesar, Wade Keller, Marble Mouth, Meltzer Magoo, Mike, my glasses are stuck in 2008, Beck, Brian Alvarez.
Oh, wow. The new Nexus 7.
Katana says -1 out of 10. Destroyer says 2 out of 10. Chauncey says I give SmackDown a 30. Chase says 2. Katana also says I turned the TV off during the main event. WWE Boy says I don't like Daniel Bryan's role as GM. I never liked him anyway. I had a feeling he was going to be ass as a GM. Chase says I think they are feuding because when Baron attacked Shinsuke before the start of the Money in the Bank match. Oh. Maybe that's it. I didn't know.
Okay.
All right, guys. Let's get some cheap plugs in for Kevil himself and me.
Friday podcast. We are reviewing We're spoiling, by the way. So
this will be my third spoiler Spider-Man video.
We're spoiling. So on my podcast, Spreaker.com, Kevil will probably put us on YouTube as well. Spider-Man 2, The Homecoming. We will probably compare it to Wonder Woman and Guardians of the Galaxy and Logan, which came out in terms of comic book movies. We'll probably talk about some other things as well, but we're spoiling this. So if you haven't seen it and you listen to this and you're like, what?
To be honest,
it's your damn fault.
They don't want to see it.
What's that?
They haven't seen it yet. They probably don't want to see it. No, wait, was it the first week this week?
Yes.
Okay, maybe. Well, okay. Next weekend. If you haven't seen it by next weekend, you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Probably, but not yet.
Arian asks Attitude Era reviews. They're coming.
2000.
But tonight, if you want a little piece of the Attitude Era, tune in live because we're going to be watching. What's the show called again? I keep Fully Loaded 2000. Fully Loaded 2000. What's the card? I know that Benoit and Rock's the main event.
Triple H, Jericho, Last Man Standing.
Triple H,
Angle,
Jericho.
Undertaker, Rikishi, Val Venus. But was not Shane and Big Show.
Let me go through the card. Fully Loaded 2000 tonight in about an hour. Myself and Dylan will sit down. We'll be watching the show. The show won't be on the Hangout, but we'll be watching it. So we'll tell you when we're going to start the show. We'll be like, okay, everybody start and press play now so we can all watch Fully Loaded 2000 together. The show is we have the Dudley Boys versus Lowdown, the Hardy Boys and Lita versus TNA, Taz versus Al Snow, Perry Saturn versus Eddie Guerrero, the APA versus Edge and Christian, Val Venus versus Rikishi, Undertaker versus Kurt Angle, Triple H versus, and by the way, the Val Venus match is in a steel cage, Taker versus Angle, Triple H versus Jericho in a last man standing, and Rock versus Benoit. All right.
Good card.
Good card, yeah. So hopefully we see you guys then. A lot more coming out. Also, the WCW Monday Night Nitro is out tomorrow, April the 10th, 2000. Tomorrow, right in the morning, it will be out. So make sure you tune in for that. Check out Kevil's podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Kevil for Kev and at Mitch Milani for myself. Thank you guys for tuning in to SmackDown Live, even though it sucked. 0 out of 10. Peace out.
Peace. 3 out of